You're listening to Don't Miss This on Paris Underground Radio. For more great content, including bonus videos of events in and around Paris, please join us on Patreon. Hello, and welcome back to Don't Miss This, your weekly roundup of the best of what's happening in Paris this week. Subscribe so you never miss an episode. I'm your host, Jennifer Garrity, the creator and founder of the Paris Underground Radio podcast network. This week begins with the magical and ends with a concert of your life. In between, you'll find horror movie marathons, floating street art, and International Day of the Dead collaborations. Get beamed up by funky aliens, inked in the metaverse, sip cocktails in the Dungeon of Ordeals, and so much more. This week's edition of Don't Miss This covers the week of Sunday, October 30th through Saturday, November 5th, 2022. Listen up, you muggle. I'm about to make your wildest glass-blown Harry Potter dreams come true. From now through January 2nd, a brand new pop-up shop will cast its spell on the Champs-Élysées. Arribat France, a manufacturer specializing in glass, and Warner Brothers have partnered together to create this pop-up shop, which will feature items made exclusively by Arribat, like hand-painted glass wands, sand-blasted ornaments, cauldrons, mini sorting hats, chopsticks, and potion bottles. If all of this stokes a fire in you, get it, you'll also have an opportunity to attend glass-blowing workshops. The Harry Potter pop-up shop by Arribat will be at the Galerie Arcade on the Champs-Élysées from now through January 2nd, 2023. For more information, please visit arribat.fr. That's ARRIBAS.fr. Do you know that street art drawing of the little girl waving a Ukrainian flag, crushing Russian tanks in her path that was painted on a wall in Paris and made the social media rounds a little while back? Well, that was created by street artist Seth, and Seth will be having his very own retrospective at Flactuaire from now through February of next year. Empreinte Carbone, or Carbon Footprint, will feature old work as well as new, all created by Seth, whose real name is Julien Malande. Seth is known the world over for his paintings of children who embody the changes our world is facing. In addition to paintings and installations, you'll also find photos and travel diaries from his 20-year career. Empreinte Carbone will be at Flactuaire from now through February 26th, 2023, and is free to attend. More information can be found at flactuaire.fr. That's FLUCTUART.fr. In the past, if you wanted a tour of the National Assembly, housed inside the Palais Bourbon, you'd have to wait until the Heritage Days. Well, wait no more. Beginning this weekend, you'll be able to discover the heart of French democracy thanks to free guided tours. Built in 1728, the two buildings that make up the National Assembly house the Chamber of Deputies and the residence of the President of the Assembly. And now, you'll get to discover the immense hemicycle home to the deputies, as well as the lounges that surround it, the festival gallery, and the library. Free guided tours of the Assemblée Nationale are available on Friday afternoons and Saturday mornings, as well as national holidays and on working days during suspensions of parliamentary work. More information, including registration, can be found at assemblée-nationale.fr. That's ASSEMBLEE-NATIONALE.fr. All right, guys and ghouls. If your idea of a perfect Halloween is to curl up with a good old-fashioned horror movie, I have 3, count 'em, 3 events for you to choose from. First up, cult films at the Grand Rex. Relive legendary horror films like The Shining, The Exorcist, It, Evil Dead, and the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Naturally, you'll have 13 films to choose from, all in their original version, including The Devil's Prey, which was only released on October 26th. Next, a horror movie marathon at the Hôtel Molitor. You'll begin with Dark Shadows, the latest Tim Burton film with a vampiric Johnny Depp. Then, see Child's Play starring everyone's favorite doll, Chucky. And finish up with The Witch by Robert Eggers. If you like your horror movie with a side of fashion, then choose door number 3, a horror movie double feature by Saint Laurent Rive Droite and director Gaspard Noé. On the silver screen, feast your eyes on Rosemary's Baby and Peeping Tom. And for your fashion twist, treat yourself to a series of limited edition Yves Saint Laurent products, from hoodies to keyrings, available exclusively in the Rive Droite boutique and the Saint Laurent website. VHS tapes of vintage horror films are also available for purchase. The cult films at the Grand Rex will begin on October 31st at 5:30 p.m., and more information, including ticketing, can be found at legrandrex.com. That's legrandrex.com. The horror movie marathon at Hôtel Molitor will begin on October 30th at 5:15 p.m., and more information, including ticketing, can be found at molitorparis.com. That's MOLITORPARIS.com. The horror fashion double feature will be at Max Linder Panorama on October 31st from 7:30 to 11:30 p.m. Tickets are €18, and more information can be found at ysl.com. Now, in addition to the film-related Halloween activities I just mentioned, there are a lot of fun options for how to spend your evening. I'm only going to mention 3. One for aliens, one for vampires, and one that will scare you to death. Only hopefully not really. Let's start with the latter. Snuggled on the edge of the Bois de Vincennes, find the Chalet de la Mort, le plus grand Halloween de la Mort, or the Chalet of Death, the biggest Halloween of death, which is described as le plus grand Halloween terrifiant de la mort qui tue dans le monde, or the biggest, most terrifying Halloween of death that kills in the world. I know. You're expecting sunshine, unicorns, and rainbows, but in fact, you'll find the former home of Napoleon III filled with hordes of zombies, vampires, the living dead, and killer nurses who will invade the specially decorated dance floor of the Chalet du Lac. Inside the 1,500 square meter chalet, you'll find a giant dance floor, numerous DJs, 3 giant bars, and VIP areas with bottle service. And outside, you'll find several smoking areas, bien sûr. Costumes are welcome but not mandatory, and wearers of the best costumes will win rounds of shots. Chalet de la Mort will be at the Chalet du Lac on Monday, October 31st. Tickets range from €10 to €25, and VIP packages range from €180 to €500. You must be over 18, and no tickets will be sold on site, so make sure you purchase them ahead of time. For more information, including pre-sales, please visit masoireeaparis.placeminute.com. That's masoireeaparis.placeminute.com. If you prefer your Halloween more goth than horror and more chateau than chalet, might I suggest a ball in your honor? A bal des vampires. This year's vampire ball at Pachamama will cover 4 floors with 4 different themes, with 4 bars and 2 VIP corners, covering over 2,000 square meters. You'll be entertained by 24 performing artists and 4 DJs. On the first floor, you'll find a majestic Transylvanian ballroom under a domed ceiling, delicately decorated with 99 hanged men. Floor 2 will transform into Los Muertos Cemetery, and Floor 3 will feature fishy creatures and macabre barmen serving curious blood-based mixtures. And the 4th floor, naturally, will house the Dungeon of Ordeals, where damned and jailed souls can endure delicious cocktails served by beguiling creatures. Be forewarned, there is a strict and, in my humble opinion, intense dress code, both for men and women, in costume and makeup. Check the website for guidelines because anyone not adhering will not be admitted, tickets or nay. The Bal des Vampires will take place on October 31st from 10 p.m. to 5 a.m. at Le Pachamama. Pre-sale tickets are €35, and more information can be found at royalement-votre.com. That's ROYALEMENTVOTRE.com. And now for something out of this world. Our last Halloween extravaganza before we blast off into November is Cobra Fantastic, which is described as, quote, an energetic funk concert aboard a pirate ship with aliens on stage and vampires behind the bar. Cobra Fantastic is a group of intrepid rebels drunk on funk, pumped up by rock, motivated and influenced by the music of Frank Zappa, Sun Ra, and P-Funk, and as crazy as Raoul Petit. To spend a moment out of the usual space-time, the group Cobra Fantastic will take you to its spaceship, whose pilot Big Daddy Fantastic will not ensure your return to Earth. End quote. While the music may be out of this world, you mere Earthlings are invited to participate in the costume contest and imbibe special Halloween cocktails concocted by the Queen of Vampires. Halloween Intergalactique will be at La Dame de Canton on October 31st from 8 to 11 p.m., and pre-sale tickets are €12.50. More information can be found on Facebook. What better way to ease out of your Halloween candy coma and back into the real world than a good old-fashioned video game? Luckily, after a 3-year hiatus, Paris Games Week is back. You'll find the entire gaming universe, from retro gaming classics to the technological innovations of tomorrow, in this 5-day festival. Paris Games Week welcomes players, enthusiasts, and professionals alike to discover new features, attend conferences and gameplay sessions, participate in tournaments, and glean exclusive information. Partake in cosplay contests, compete in international e-sport competitions, visit signing sessions with your favorite YouTubers, peruse the video game library, attend coding workshops, schools and training, and so much more. Some gaming previews to whet your appetite? How about Street Fighter VI, A Plague Tale Requiem, Just Dance 2023, Mario plus the Rabbids, Sparks of Hope, Forza Horizon 5, and One Piece Odyssey. Paris Games Week 2022 will be at the Porte Versailles Expo Center from Wednesday, November 2nd through Sunday, November 6th. Tickets are €19, and more information can be found at parisgamesweek.com. Does French culture sometimes leave you scratching your head? Well, you might enjoy listening to our sister podcast, Navigating the French, hosted by journalist Emily Monaco. Each episode focuses on a different word in the French language, and Emily is joined by an expert who will help explore what that word says about French culture. Listen now to Navigating the French on ParisUndergroundRadio.com or wherever you listen to podcasts. Don't miss this. We'll be right back after a word from our sponsors. And now, back to Don't Miss This. On Halloween, and for one night only, the veil between this life and the next is lifted. The souls walk among us, and we disguise ourselves to blend in with them. On November 1st, the departed souls go back to their afterlife, and here in France, we celebrate Toussaint to honor those who have passed. In other cultures, predominantly Mexican, that celebration can extend through November 2nd with the Dia de los Muertos festivities. In honor of the current Frida Kahlo exhibit, the Palais Galliera is throwing their own Dia de Muertos celebration. Throughout this day, which is geared toward families, you'll discover all the secrets and traditions behind this holiday, including costumes, decorations, music, food, symbols, and beliefs. In Mexico, they celebrate the memory of those they love by singing and dancing and having fun, so don't forget to come dressed in costume. From 10 a.m. to 1 p.m., you'll find family workshops around things like building an altar for the dead, making Frida-style floral headbands, and skeleton masks. From 2:30 to 4 p.m., sing and dance to female mariachi concerts as they play popular songs and traditional music to the sound of violins and trumpets. There will also be discovery visits to get to know Frida and her work better. Dia de Muertos will be at the Palais Galliera on Wednesday, November 2nd from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. and is free for those under 18. More information can be found at palaisgalliera.paris.fr. That's PALAIGalliera.paris.fr. The very next day, Thursday, November 3rd, will extend the Day of the Dead festivities with Ofrenda at the Muisca Gallery. The Ofrenda exhibit takes its name from an offering to the deceased, often composed of flowers, food, candles, and personal objects, on an altar at home. And this exhibit will present works related to the Day of the Dead simultaneously in Paris's Marais district and in Mexico in the Blanco Colima district. Discover celebrations and customs associated with the Day of the Dead through the art of Colombian artist Eliana Flores, French artist Jacqueline Poitevin, and Chinese artist Zhaoyun Fan. Ofrenda will be at the Muisca Gallery from Thursday, November 3rd through November 30th and is free to attend. The vernissage will be held on Thursday, November 3rd from 7 to 10 p.m. For more information, please visit themuisca.com. That's TheMuisca.com. You know what this week needs? Some music. Luckily, the Arte Festival is returning for 3 days of free concerts. Who can you expect in this year's lineup? Thylacine and Superpose, as well as the British Wolf Alice, the French En Attendant Anna, and the Icelandic JFDR. This multi-day concert is free to attend, but only by reservation and only while tickets last. But never fear, this concert will also be live-streamed and replayed on arteconcert.com and gaieté-lyrique.net. The Arte Concert Festival 2022 will be held at the Gaieté Lyrique from Thursday, November 3rd through Saturday, November 5th, and is free to attend. For more information, including the full program, please visit gaieté-lyrique.net. That's GAITE-LYRIQUE.net. You know what goes well with fresh tunes? Fresh ink. Tattoo Planetarium, a brand new international tattoo fair, is coming to La Villette for 3 days. This convention, organized by Tintin, the man behind the former Mondial du Tatouage, will showcase the talents of more than 500 of the best tattoo artists in the world. Not only can you get inked by one of the greats, but there will also be concerts, tattoo contests, and a metaverse. Tattoo Planetarium will be at the Grande Halle de la Villette from Friday, November 4th through Sunday, November 6th. Tickets range from 20 to 25 euros, and a 3-day pass is available for 60 euros. More information can be found at tattoo-planetarium.com. Let's cap off this week with the grandest of grand finales. After 2 years of postponement, Le Seigneur des Agneaux en ciné-concert les 2 tours, or The Lord of the Rings in ciné-concert, the 2 towers, is finally coming to the Palais des Congrès. Dive back into the heart of the quest for the ring alongside Frodo, Sam, and Gollum, while they are led to the perilous gates of Mordor. Relive the mythical battle of Helm's Deep and the fall of Isengard, accompanied live by the power of a symphony orchestra and choir. This iconic film will be projected onto the big screen in its original version with French subtitles, accompanied by a live orchestra consisting of 85 musicians and 150 singers from the Yellow Sox Orchestra and Choir, who will perform the famous Howard Shore soundtrack in perfect synchronization with the images. The show will last 3 hours and 19 minutes with a 20-minute intermission. Les Seigneurs des Anneaux en ciné-concert les 2 tours will be at the Palais des Congrès from Saturday, November 5th through Monday, November 7th, and more information, including ticketing, can be found at palaisdescongrès-de-paris.com. That's PALAISDESCONGRESDEPARIS.com. Well, that's it for this week's roundup of Don't Miss This. For more great content, including a look behind the scenes, videos from Paris, a book club, and exclusive events, please join me on Patreon at patreon.com/Paris Underground Radio. If you enjoyed this roundup, please tell a friend. If you venture out to any of the events mentioned in this podcast, please let me know and tag Paris Underground Radio on Facebook or Instagram. And if you think you have an event we should know about, please feel free to email me at hello@parisundergroundradio.com with the subject line, Don't Miss This. I'm your host, Jennifer Garrity. You can find me on all socials at Jennyphoria. That's JennyPhoria. Don't Miss This is produced by me for Paris Underground Radio. For more on Don't Miss This and shows like it, please visit parisundergroundradio.com. Thank you so much for listening and happy exploring! Don't Miss This is produced by Jennifer Garrity for Paris Underground Radio. For more on this show and shows like it, please go to parisundergroundradio.com.